only orange. I like that. Anyways, welcome to this episode of the Nonsensical Knowledge Podcast. We're here. We're kicking it. We got fucking our man Kenny here. We're chilling. Kind of an end of the year episode. We're hanging out. We're doing our thing. We're going to roll something up and we're going to get to it. Kenny, yes. What's good, baby? How was your 22?
Not bad. It was weird. There was a lot of goods, a lot of bads. Met a new chick.
Nice.
Yep. 6 months strong. Haven't argued once. Pretty cool.
That's dope.
Nice girl.
Shout out.
Kid, yeah, shout out to her. My kid learned a lot. Impressing me every day.
Sorry with the weed bag.
Hey, that's it. I would prefer it over not having it. So
word up. Nah, man, it's been a weird fucking year, to be honest. Like, not so much for me, but for like the world. It's been a fucking weird year, bro.
Yeah.
Been a lot of shit going on. Just from start to finish. And it was weird too, because obviously with 2020 we had COVID. 2021 was kind of like still COVID, like the back end of COVID, and then like this is like that weird transition year. It feels like it feels weird, right? Like,
yeah, people are like, it's like you're starting to see the people who settled on like permanently gonna be wearing a mask, and people that are permanently don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you see where people have been for the last couple of years as far as their stances on shit, and now they're just kind of living with it separately, and people kind of don't bother each other anymore.
Yeah, it's weird, dude, because people don't interact like they used to.
No, not at all.
Even a lot of us, like, we're like we still kick it and shit, but like not as like hard as we used to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I don't think that's for any real reason for our social circle, but at the same time, 2020, everybody I've spoken to has been like, "Yo, bro, this is like the vibe has just been fucking weird."
Yeah, it's I mean, hey, man, people, you know how it is. You have kids, you go on vacation, you do shit, you know.
Yeah, shit happens.
Yeah, exactly. But
no diggity. Yeah, man, it's been crazy, bro. But like from the start of the year, like I don't have my shit on me right this second, but we've had a lot of things going on just in the world in general. We've had Ukraine. We've had
Betty White. Oh
yeah, Betty White passed this year, right?
Yeah.
I think we said that before. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, she was kind of old, dude.
Yeah, 100. Rate shy of 100.
She probably knew Jesus.
Could have.
You know what I mean? Like, jeez.
She was cute. She had it way back in the day.
She was a part of Jesus' flock. I am your shepherd. No, yeah, it's there's just
Ghislaine Maxwell trial.
Oh, there was
R. Kelly.
Who
else?
Did you see somebody put out an album? That he said like
he
something. Did. No, it wasn't him.
Really?
Well, he said it wasn't him, but somebody put out an album and was like admitting it, like, or something, like I admitted it or something.
I admit it, yeah.
And it was like a whole album, bro, and it sounded like R. Kelly admitting to all the crimes. Harvey Weinstein, I think maybe Harvey might have been last year,
possibly.
No, dude, it's just insane with those few things, you know, with the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. It's like another thing that kind of got like stepped right over was the Epstein shit, and like it's still till this day, as of December of 2022, the client list still hasn't come out. The Balenciaga shit just happened. Did you see all that Balenciaga shit?
That was with Kanye had a big part in all that too, right? To some degree.
I'm not sure if he had a part in that,
or like, he was firing back at them after that all happened.
Well, yeah.
He's involved on another level with Balenciaga's bullshit.
Well, he was like I don't know if he was like a rep for Balenciaga or if
he was one of the creative designers and all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like a brand? Because I know he was the one that got Kim hooked up with him, but like that, they dropped that, like for anybody that doesn't know, they dropped a like line of, what was it, like BDSM teddy bears or some shit.
Yeah.
And then they had children holding these things in a photo shoot, which
it was super inappropriate. Yeah.
And but what was weird about it, dude, is Hollywood was silent. Like there was a couple 2-3 people that like came out and said something like, you know, kind of condemned it, but outside of that, man, everybody was fucking silent, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, look at Woody Allen. He got away with it forever. They don't say shit about that. I always say that, man. That whole shit with Woody Allen. He paraded around a little girl from, I don't know, Vietnam or somewhere that he had adopted, and paraded her around as his adopted daughter for years and years and years publicly as a Hollywood face, and is now married to her.
Yeah, it kind of gives you that old classic grooming shit.
Oh,
you
definitely.
Know, like he groomed her or whatever. Yeah, it's the same thing, man. Hollywood is fucking weird, dude. They got the Roman Polanski shit too, which, like, for anybody that doesn't know,
he's still making movies under a different name or something, isn't he?
No, he's still making movies under his own fucking name.
Really?
And they apparently the world don't give a fuck. He's over in France, I think, and he's like wanted here for questioning at the very least for
like rape and murder or some shit, right?
Rape. It was rape. And because I didn't really look at it, but I'm almost positive that the rape occurred at Robert De Niro's crib. So I think that's what happened is he raped a 12-year-old girl at Robert De Niro's house. And then, oh shit, that was loud. And then took off when he was wanted for questioning, and he's been overseas ever since. But
Jesus.
Yeah, but he's still like making movies that are hitting like American screens, and people are fucking still watching them. People are still going.
That's
and he's
crazy.
He's still getting awards for them. So
yeah, they're just letting it go.
But that's like kind of how, you know, it went with the Epstein shit too. You know, with no difference there in the type of power or type of money or type of celebrity, I guess you could say, that these dudes have or these people have. You know, it's like we don't know about the client list yet. You know, nothing, not a word, like not one person.
A lot of what they've been saying is just filler bullshit to keep us, you know, like during the same time they had her trial, they had the Johnny Depp Amber Heard bullshit.
Well, right, exactly.
You know?
And that was publicly watched. Dude, that was like the most watched fucking court, like, or trial ever.
Yeah, and usually they're not publicized.
Well, no, the feds aren't publicized, so that's like a fact. Like the feds don't put their shit on TV. The state does. So that was the difference. Was that Ghislaine's was a federal shit. But either way, they overlapped it just to make sure that it didn't get a ton of media coverage.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's just kind of wild because like that's also a level to like the conspiracies, is that like they control these media outlets.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Like they say, yo, we don't want no press on that, and you don't see it. So it's like, you know, there was nothing though. Like there was no I guess information that came out of that trial that was like
that helped get any closer to who is doing this.
Yep.
Because of the client list is...
But, and I wish I had the laptop or my phone on me, but as far as I know, a judge just said that they were going to unseal, like, the names or some shit. Like, they're going to, basically, like, unseal some of the paperwork, and her team was trying to fight it because, obviously, it would incriminate certain people.
Right.
You know? But,
oh, well.
Yeah, right.
I don't give a fuck about Tom Hanks and, you know what I mean? For that matter, Eminem, none of them people.
Yeah, it's insane. It really is wild, the scope of people. And it's like, it kind of is, like, I'm not very religious, but it kind of is reminiscent of, like, selling your soul to the devil.
Yeah.
Like, you're willing to do this shit to be at these, like, you don't get to, like, these levels of notoriety or
there were athletes, like pro football players and shit. It was crazy.
Yeah, it spanned all across everybody, dude. Like,
actors.
It's weird too because you have people like Oprah, you know, that were on the fucking plane. They're like,
well, I mean, and
Ellen DeGeneres, dude. Like, so it's like, you know, these are like wholesome people that, you know,
yeah, but
people want to look up to.
You've seen the whole thing with Ellen DeGeneres, the picture in her bathroom.
Which one?
The one where Hillary Clinton's like killing a girl.
Oh, yeah. They have always had some fucked up artwork.
So, like, she has a picture of Hillary Clinton killing a girl. Like, apparently what happened on Epstein Island. And
like a sacrifice?
Yeah. And during, you know, it's like a hand-drawn or hand-painted picture. And during COVID, Ellen DeGeneres had to cut her mom's hair, and she did it on, like, Instagram. And she did it in her bathroom. And you could see the picture clear as day on her wall. It's still on Instagram right now.
Yeah, see, that's that weird shit, bro. It's like, same thing with John Podesta. Like, John Podesta allegedly had, like, and I could be wrong. You have to research this shit, but this is just off the top of my cranium. But I'm pretty sure it was Podesta who had a picture, something like weird like that. Like, yeah. But it was more so like based on children. And that's what was like giving credence, not so much Podesta, but a lot of these things was giving credence to Pizzagate. It was because all of this shit was linking up. And then you had the guy that owned the pizza shop down there, and his Instagram was filled with like fucking crazy fucking shit. And like cheese pizza was a code word for pedophilia. You know what I mean? But
which is just absurd in so many ways.
Yep. And then there was somebody had a painting. It might have been Epstein. Somebody had a painting of George Bush as like a child or something.
Yeah, no, playing with two Jenga towers that he knocked down with a plane.
Yeah.
It was it. I don't know. It might have been Epstein. Yeah, it might have been Epstein.
But this is all symbolism. So it's like they do this shit on purpose.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we want to get weird and get biblical, which I don't really like to do, but that is the definition of like the good and evil in the battle. It's like these guys are these fucking weirdo. If I had to guess, like, I don't want to say satanic because it's not, like, again, I don't like to get religious, but that cult.
Yeah, cult mentality.
You know what I mean? It's like a cult.
Of some sort.
Right, it's like a cult. So it's like you're either in or you're out. And like all of these people in the business, like even that shit with James Franco, you know, it was like.
Well, he raped a bunch of chicks allegedly, or did he?
I can't remember exactly what happened, but I do know that he was like he was like sleeping with his students at his like institute. Like he's got like an art and film institute or something.
Yeah, so it was like forced, like you have sex with me or you don't stay here kind of thing, like extortion.
I don't know about that. I don't want to, you know what I mean, do the unnecessary like shade on the dude, but
I gotcha.
He did say like he did shit that was a piece of shit. Like he made the chick do like, or like there was a movie that him and Seth Rogen were doing. There's a chick in there, and he basically propositioned her like, "Oh, I'll get you a better role in the movie if you fuck me."
Yeah.
You know, and that's
extortion.
It's yeah, right. It's like certainly unethical, and like almost gives this again air of like predatory behavior in Hollywood. Like this is shit that people are doing all over the place, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Weinstein did it forever.
Weinstein did do it forever. So, but it's not just them, man. You know, there's senators, politicians. You know, what was it? What was the one guy, Anthony Weiner, got caught with a bunch of shit on his laptop. You know, and then there's a few examples. But either way, that was just another Ghislaine Maxwell. The trial itself, which happened this year, didn't bear any fruit.
Nothing.
Not a
How
fucking
do you
thing.
get charged for trafficking as the person, as the middle person, and you don't no name comes out for the person that you're trafficking to or from? How does that happen? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because again, there's a lot of tied in aspects to it. So like Alan Dershowitz, for example, who's like the lead law guy at fucking Yale or Harvard.
Yeah.
I think it's Harvard. And like he was allegedly, like he was named and shit. Like Prince Andrew. Like they're like that whole thing too should tell you a lot too. Like the chick that like he settled out with, like she took a big lump sum of money, bro.
Yeah,
undisclosed
I'm sure
amount.
Huge. In the millions.
Stop it, bro. It's probably the tens of
hundreds
millions.
Of millions even, yeah.
I don't know if she got 100 million, but they
Dude,
probably
it's
made
the
her.
Prince.
They made her an offer that was like, yo, look, you know. But that it's crazy. They're just like tying up all the loose ends, you know. And eventually it'll go on, and people will be like, there'll be like people like us that are like, you know, what the fuck, you know, where's the client list? But they'll never see the light of day.
What we should do is follow the money. Follow who's getting paid.
Well,
you know,
it's tough because they have such like everybody's getting paid. You know, like the politicians, the hot, like the actors.
But I mean, like,
actresses.
if we followed the people like that woman who took, you know, $50 million lump sum, we'll say, and again, it's an undisclosed number, but
Virginia Jeffries,
to some degree, Virginia Jeffries, that's her name.
I believe that was her name. Yeah, Jeffries or Jeffries or something.
There should be some way for us to follow the paper trail because I'm sure most of their spending is public.
Well, no. So here's the thing: is like in these certain scenarios, there's like an NDA attached to this shit. So it's like you are gonna settle, but you're never gonna talk about it again.
100 years.
You know, you're never gonna write a book. You're never gonna have publishing rights. You're never gonna. We're gonna make because that's imagine having that leverage.
Right.
Like I mean, it sucks.
You'd have to leave it to your grandchildren in a note.
Well, no. It sucks because it's like, well, you could do something like that, like a safety deposit box or some weirdo shit, but it's
some Admiral Byrd style fucking.
Yeah, right.
Leave it to your son.
But think about having the leverage of saying to Prince Andrew, like, look, bro, I got enough evidence to fry you. I can make a loan $100 million off a book deal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure it was never about money with her, but in the end, she took it. You know?
$100 million book deal, no problem. That's what I'm saying. He had to give her half a bill.
I don't know if the Crown's sanctioning that. I don't know. I don't know. The Queen, yo, nah, dude. She's like, what? Nah, bro. Give up your royal titles. Chop those up. Yeah, let me get that.
I don't know, man.
I think she got a lot of money, like no question. You know, but I think it probably wasn't. If it was 100 mil, it definitely wasn't more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that.
And for like
100 mil is nothing to shake a fucking stick at.
Well, no, if you're talking about 80 mil tax free, stop it. You know what I mean? Like
you have to give her to your friends and family.
Money.
You wouldn't be able to tell nobody.
Well, you can't. No, you just can't. Like speak about it publicly. I think. Like
yeah.
I'm sure there's a certain gag order on it, but I don't know.
Like think about that. All of a sudden, and I've been your friend for a few years here. You know, been your guys' friend for a few years. Imagine if you just came here. And I had a fucking Ferrari in the driveway. And fucking, you know, $4,000 Gucci loafers. You'd be like, Joe, what happened? You know what I mean? And I was just like, can't talk about it. You know, there would be signs. You know what I mean? I'd have 46 purebred dogs.
But it's also one. You also have to think in her case, in this particular incident with, excuse me, Epstein and being trafficked. She's already told the story.
Yeah.
Like, so the story's out there.
Yeah.
She's already told it.
Yeah.
They've been through the court proceedings. They've been through the, you know, being
You could just never talk about it again.
You can just never publicly talk about it again. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do any deals.
Yeah.
You're not going to do none of that shit. But that's how quickly that type of shit gets wrapped up.
Yeah, true.
You know, and money, man, fucking money. You know, it changes everything. So when you're really looking at it, the Ghislaine Maxwell shit was a dud.
Yeah. So
that was a fucking dud.
It's fucked up that they just let it go to pass like that. But I saw something today that I've seen a couple times, and it was about Abe Lincoln in a speech.
Blinken?
A. Blinken.
Or A. Blinken.
A. Blinken. A. Dot B-L-I.
A. Blinken.
A. Blinken.
Yeah. No,
hey, yo, Blinken.
Yeah. So about the Nephilim.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Go ahead. Continue on.
So he was talking about how these giants are buried in all the mounds across America and all, you know, all the other Central America and Mexico and all that stuff.
Let me see if I can play it. You think I can play it? Are you get in trouble for playing it?
I don't know. I think they just want it out there.
We'll see. You sent it to me, right?
Yeah. Yep. It was.
Let's see if it'll play.
I'm going to read you guys a quote from Abraham Lincoln on the Library of Congress.
Whoa. I fucked it up. My bad. Oh, hold on.
This website. Here it is. The eyes of that species of extinct giants. Wait. What extinct giants? Whose bones fill the mounds of America. Wait, what mounds? Is that the Indian burial mounds that we find all over the place that we used to dig into and find giant remains?
This is attached to a pretty cool video,
on
too.
Niagara Falls, as our eyes do now. Contemporary with the whole race of men. Wait a second. Hold the phone. Contemporary with the whole race of men. Does this mean that this was another race of beings, of giants, that used to be here, that gazed on Niagara Falls because we found their remains in the Indian burial mounds? See, the interesting thing here is he's not talking about a race of giants. He's actually talking about how big and beautiful and amazing Niagara Falls was. Because just about 200 years ago, everyone knew that there was a race of giant people that lived in America. And Abraham Lincoln was simply referring to that group of giant people.
Yeah.
Here's a quote from Abraham.
Yeah, so that was predominantly a quote written right by Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. Excuse me. Look, man, I don't know why, I don't understand why they conceal it, but there's like constant stories from around the globe and shit like that.
Just
like,
look at the architecture.
Yeah.
The older architecture, the doors are 40 feet tall.
Yeah.
The fucking steps are 7, 8 feet high each. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in these old Tibetan monasteries and shit like that have been around for documented 2,500 years.
Yeah.
Like they don't have doors like, 8 foot fucking doors that we walk through. These are doors that you couldn't move with a fucking, they've had to since recreate smaller doors for normal sized people.
Well, yeah, over time too, just going back, everything was bigger when the oxygen content on the earth was better and more.
The giant trees of life.
Yeah. What's wild about it is like all of these mounds and why they're off limits. And it's, again, I don't understand why they would conceal it. But what do you think? Like, do you guys think there's giants? Like,
absolutely.
If you think there's giants, drop a comment and let us know, man, because I honestly feel that there's
Nephilim.
See, and that's a biblical thing, though, right? The Nephilim, which if I remember correctly, they were like the race of giants that they were sent down to be on Earth, right? I'm not entirely sure that it's the story of the Nephilim, but either way,
the Nephilim are like half god, half man, essentially like the Anunnaki.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Like Gilgamesh was considered a Nephilim.
All right, so I know what you mean. So they're kind of like prophets or saviors, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they were like demigod.
Yeah, Hercules type shit.
Yes, yeah, but in a much different way than what Hercules has been pitched to us. It wasn't some guy that looked like an Adonis, like built like a normal man with a physique. These were men that stood. I mean, if you call them men, they were giants. They were Nephilim.
Literal giants. Yeah.
They stood 12, 14, 16 feet tall and probably taller before.
Well, it's wild, man, because, like, you know, obviously, not to get off the Giants real quick, but, like, that it kind of pertains to it is, like, that Devil's Tower. Like, you know what Devil's Tower is? It's, I want to say it's in Wyoming, but it's this, like, giant petrified,
Yeah.
it's like a giant, it looks like a giant mountain, I guess, but to me, it looks like a giant petrified tree stump.
Yeah, yep. I've seen the reference that you're talking about, I'm sure. But it's
Mike, what'd you do? Turn my shit off. Oh, we click that back on for me, Mike.
I've seen a lot of
Bear with us here.
I've seen a lot of petrified stone pictures of petrified stone that end up looking like river valleys, and people think that water runs through them because they're river valley, but it's like a 75, 80 foot giant fucking crocodile or a giant
in the middle.
stone cliff that looks like the head of an elephant, you know. There's so much like that we can't really explain other than, you know, maybe a giant prehistoric volcano erupted and fucking spewed lava and ash over giant fucking creatures and petrified them all. So that's about the only way that some of those things could happen. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the image of the giant cliff in the water that looks like an elephant drinking water.
Yeah.
There's so many different examples of that.
Right. There's the giant snakes, there's the giant leopards, there's a lot of big, like, I guess,
giant fucking stuff. The elephant, the turtle, there's a giant ape.
You know what I saw it too not too long ago, was just like they like the giant carvings. You know what I mean? There's like really big fucking carvings, dude, and like shit that like looks like an island, but it's shaped like a fish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like literally like carved out, like if it's kind of like the Nazca lines type shit, you know.
Well, there was another thing I saw too, talking about how when they led the people through in the Bible where it opened up part of the Red Sea, you know?
Moses.
Yeah. My bad. Moses part of the Red Sea, yeah, all that. So it actually shows they've done some tests fairly recently that show that there's a spot underwater that does cross, that's a land bridge that only would be the only place to access, and actually could have happened, which would have made that specific book in the Bible true, which would have meant that proves the existence of Jesus. Which was, I'm not confirming or denying that's true.
But there's science behind where this land bridge is.
Yes.
And yes. All right. So for me personally, this shit is weird. You know what I mean? Because
absolutely,
I don't necessarily believe. I feel like the Bible was written
Exodus
by men, and men are fallible.
Absolutely,
men exaggerate. You know what I mean? That Bible turned in like that thing was edited fucking 100 times over. You know what I mean? By 1,000 different people.
Excuse me,
but I feel like.
Thanks.
Yes, Jesus was probably a real person.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
A martyr, maybe.
I feel like, he was more so a prophet. You know what I mean? There was historical records outside of that area that put him at that time, and he was in India, I believe he was in. He was in a monastery. They have records of him being there, learning their shit. You know what I mean? Whatever.
But tell me, like, who else would be a prophet that we could compare in later or earlier years? Because obviously there's not just one that comes around in the sense of the way we're describing him is, yes, if we're making light of what he was in this sense. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends on what culture you ask for. So it's
I just want to know other comparisons of what he should be compared to, rather than
Muhammad in the Quran.
But again, a whole religion is based around this human being. Like, are there any people that don't have religions based around them that would have been considered, like in our time, do we have anyone in the last 100 or 200 years that you think would be as influential? You know what I mean?
As influential as Jesus?
Yeah, and I say that in not in the way that it's coming across a little arrogant, obviously,
All right,
because
so-
I'm not. I have religion myself, but
Yes. So, but
if you're saying that he was a man and he was a prophet, but he was just that, then who could you compare it to in our lifetime or in the last couple that would also have that same standard of he's just a man, but he was the greatest man of his time? You know what I mean? For comparison
I
reasons.
don't think it's an accurate comparison for any level, because I have to go on the notion that Jesus was a real person first and foremost.
Sure.
Second, I have to go on the facts of what this Bible, or quote unquote facts of what this Bible tells me.
Right.
So in this Bible, it told me that I feel like when he was gone in the Bible from 13 to 33, you know what I mean? That's whatever.
And by the way, I agree with you that it's we're fallible, and the book is not true to what it was 2,000 years ago. So I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, I know. It's a good conversation. I don't know, honestly know how the fuck we got here, but
Morals, if nothing else.
in any event, I feel like when Jesus left in the Bible, he was out studying other cultures. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he was
Learning other ways.
He was he was trying to learn it all. And when he came back, what his story turned into wasn't necessarily what Jesus didn't fit the narrative when he came home.
Sure.
At this point, there's a bit of embellishment. There's some things whoa, hold on, buddy. We fucking done told him you walked on water. We told him you were the son of God.
Now you come back, you got to own up to your salt.
Right. You know what I mean? They ended up this dude's the savior, bro. And they string him up. A lot of it doesn't make sense to me.
Sure.
In a real world scenario. You know what I mean?
But again, we got to think that also 2,000 plus years ago, there's a lot more religious fanaticalism than.
That's just back then, dude.
Yeah.
So when we're still talking in Jesus's time, he was crucified or whatever, there's no evidence of that ever.
What about the Shroud of Turin or whatever? I mean, the only reason I just watched that today, and it said that they created a 3D cast of the human being that was wrapped in it.
Yeah, but it's still kind of like a white Jesus.
Yeah. So I mean, I looked at this character that they made. He definitely didn't look like he could have been a white man, even just from the cast. My bad.
No, you're good.
He definitely didn't look like he could have been a white man, even from the cast that they made of him. And it showed that he was crucified. His hands, he had over 300 lashes on him.
But you got to think, though, that was a common thing at the time, dude.
Yeah.
So it's not only, it's hard for me to get behind the idea of the story because, again, if we look at historical records and we go through alternate facts, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This, they want us, they don't want to say, we embellished this dude.
Sure.
You know what I mean? This
People's
is a lie.
faith relies on that. They live for that.
And when you get to a point where it's all right, I got to put all bets on Jesus. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Somewhere around the 14th century, they changed everything.
Right.
They took a bunch of shit out. They put a bunch of shit in and then said, all right, hold on. Jesus' birthday is Christmas.
It had been revised many times, too, not just around the 14th century.
No, yeah, of course. I'm just specifically talking about the Council of Nicaea.
Yeah, I got you.
And it's crazy because, again, I haven't researched this shit in a long time, and I would fucking love to. But either way, there was a king and a pope that said, all right, hold up, Jesus' birthday, we're going to deem the winter solstice, weird, Christmas.
Yep.
We're going to deem that Jesus' birthday. And then we're going to say that he walked on water and he did all of these miracles. Prior to that, that shit wasn't in the Bible, bro. Not only that,
It was only after
they took the book of Enoch out.
Yep.
They took the book of Mary out.
Mm-hmm.
They took all these kinds of they found them all in the Dead Sea Scrolls, bro. Like they're just like, but they don't make Jesus seem
infallible.
Like, not infallible. They don't make him seem magical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't make him seem like he was this guy that could just talk to the heavens. You know what I mean? Like, or talk to God. Like,
they paint him as a human being.
He was a human being. He had a family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that doesn't go with what the preachings.
Well, it just changes everything, bro. It changes everything because we got to fast forward now. Right? Now Christianity's spreading.
Huge.
And it's got a following. They got money.
Yep.
Now you end up with things like the Catholic Church.
Sure.
You know? Or you like, they are responsible for more deaths on this fucking planet than any war ever, dude. Like, they had the Spanish Inquisition. They had, like, all kinds of... And this is me kind of jumping over a little bit. But, like, the church made you believe. If you didn't believe, it was heresy. And it was like, you're spitting on the cross, you're you know what I mean? They put you on the rack, bro.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Your family members were like, you know what?
I'm not going to go down with you.
I think I believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then eventually, after so long, you don't have to do that anymore.
No, you're teaching your kids because it's part of what...
It's like, yo, look, no, we can't say that.
Yeah.
You know, some of the brightest minds in history, bro, were hindered because they lived in that era.
Yeah, they were forced to do something that they had to survive.
And that's the whole thing that bothers me is like, and now our whole world revolves around it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like like our whole entire space from 200 BC. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's before Christ. Where the fuck was time before that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
it's one of those weird things, man. Like,
I don't think it, but to answer your question, sorry for the long fucking spiel, but I don't think it's a reasonable comparison. I don't know if there is anybody that could be as iconic as Jesus. You know what I mean? Like,
I ask it more in this way. Like, in 500 years or 1,000 years, will Martin Luther King Jr. be what Jesus is to us now? To somebody? In 2,000 years, I'm saying, not in 100 years.
No, because white history wouldn't let that happen.
Well, I agree with that.
I feel like systematically,
you know what I'm saying, though, right? Like, will he be as influential in 2,000 years as Jesus is to us now? Because that's how it's gotten painted over. Because again, if he was just a man then,
because
you know what I mean, or Gandhi. Or Malcolm X. Or
nobody. There's nobody. If you put them on a scale of what religion calls Jesus, that's like, again, you're talking about your everlasting, I guess, condemnation or ascension. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, but what I'm saying, I'm really not wording it right because there's no real way to word it, you know. But what I'm saying is that 2,000 plus years ago, when this all originally got written, and it's changed so much since then, who's to say that this guy wasn't just a hell of a preacher or a guy who was like for an influencer on the top degree? You know what I mean? Because back then they might have just worshipped him as a person, and over 2,000 years, that book has gotten translated and changed to a point where he's become a deity. So you see what I'm saying? Like, if he was only a man back then, and he's not exactly a god, you know what I mean? Like people see him now. Is it possible that somebody that was as influential now could be what he is now in 2,000 years to other people? You see what I'm saying? There's an influencing, but if it's gotten passed over generations with a new spin on it every couple...
I don't think.
How do we know? You know what I mean?
I don't think so, man.
That guy could have been a fucking guy who just knew how to break dance and no one else knew how to break dance.
I think the only thing that's comparable is like their counterpart in each religion. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because outside of that, it's like it's almost like a it's almost like comparing and like I just want to think of somebody like iconic. You know what I mean? Is like like a Kanye. You know what I mean? Like he's got.
Would a Hitler be a Satan in 2,000 years?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, because that's not the narrative. So like that's like a part of the history. So it's like what the construct is Jesus. The construct, like the entire construct. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's how I'm viewing it. Is like everything we have to do. So like not everything we have to do per se, but is like Easter. Boom, that's when Jesus rose or whatever. Right. You know what I mean? Like our whole life is surrounded or ran on the premise that this is who gave us life. You know what I mean?
I definitely understand.
So, no. That's what I mean. Is like for me, I guess I can't put like I don't think they like the construct would allow that. Like I don't think anything can. They don't allow anything to be bigger than
God.
Right?
Yeah, but what happens if our society, which it some people would say that it is already showing that it's going away from organized religion as a society, right? Now you got to think 2,000 years. I keep using this model of reference because it's like
it
the
just
distance
puts some
from
time on
right,
it.
Enough.
And like somebody that's iconic, right?
So it's like I look at it as if we've been playing the telephone game for 2,000 years, and if people like me and you exist, where nowadays we say that Jesus existed, but he wasn't maybe a fucking magical man. Maybe he was just a guy who knew more than the other people because he opened his mind to it, or he was accepting of things and traveled, and you know what I mean, did things like that. So if that's the case, isn't it realistic to think that if the narrative were to go in a way where we were controlled by influence, which if we go the same way that we're going as a society now for 2,000 years, we would be completely controlled by media as a whole. And it would be not even we wouldn't even be people anymore. We'd be controlled by digital media, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the way things are going towards like a Neuralink. But
couldn't somebody from our generation be a god to people 2,000 years from now in digital media world?
Maybe,
you know what I mean?
Maybe an Elon, bro.
That's what. Oh, there you go. Perfect example.
You know,
couldn't
what I mean?
Elon
like,
be a god to people once we live on Mars?
I think he's like I mean, he could be
2,000 years from now.
I mean, I think it could be. Depending on how the construct.
The story won't be told the way that it happened. That's for sure.
No.
2,000 years from now, the book about Elon will not be fucking on Mars telling us about how his dad was a creep that fucked his stepdaughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's what I mean, though, is like, it's just, again, they just don't allow, like, even Elon is under the premise that there's Jesus, there's God, you know? So it's like, I don't know, I guess it's hard for me to relate to, like,
again, I'm not trying to shit on God. I have religion in my life and faith. I'm not shitting on Jesus or the story. I'm just saying, if that's the case, there's got to be a connection to where it's they use the narrative of a person regardless if they were special or not. And I'm not saying that Jesus wasn't or didn't exist. I'm saying that it's possible through manipulation of man over time for the narrative to play out where they could use anybody and change it into a person that we need to see as the way we live our life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I just think, I think that's the controlling factor.
Right.
Like, it's like who's in control, like, right? So, like, if me
and you both know Jesus wasn't white, and they say his story, he lived in the Middle East. So if that's the case, then they're already using a fake face.
I think it's a beautiful story.
Sure.
Kind of.
They're already using a fake face, though, if that's the case.
But not really, because it just, again, it feels off. It's like, to me, it's like, this can't be the real story. Like, and not only that,
I agree.
Not only that, but it was like super sexist. Like, like gays are gonna rot in hell, dude. Like, this dude seemed like this almighty being or Jesus, whoever, seems like a fucking real douchebag.
Yeah, seemed very spiteful.
And it's
vengeful.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's fucking weird. You know what I mean? And like, I feel like if you were giving us that free will you spoke of, you know what I mean? Then why wouldn't we have the free will to not believe. You know what I mean? And still, we still got to go and fucking rot in hell.
That's my belief system anyway, is that regardless of what a book says, an all-powerful God that is that loving and caring would never, ever judge you for making a mistake. He gave you the opportunity to make the mistake, or, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
like, I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at it. You
Sure.
know? But, like, I just don't think, like, I don't know, man. It's a weird story.
yeah, religion's tough,
You know
man.
what I
I
mean?
just
And
had a
lot of it hasn't
conversation
been
with somebody for 2
replicated
hours.
ever. You
Yeah,
know
no,
what I mean?
never.
Like,
It can't, yeah, no. I had a conversation with a dude at the barbershop for about 2 hours about religion, and no one was there except he and I. And he kept trying to push the fact that he knew God was real and it was the story of Jesus and all that. And I said, look, that's fine that you know that in your heart, but knowing something and having proof that it's really existing, that's two different things. You believe something and knowing it are two different things. You know?
Well, my thought, yeah.
You can't
right.
know something if you believe it.
Well, my thought to that is that, again, when you sit there and indoctrinate somebody so we both have children. You know what I mean? So, like,
Absolutely.
I catch a lot of shit for the way that I let my kids make their decisions
Sure.
because it's like, I'm not here to control you. I'm here to guide you and say, yo, look, this is where you're going to get burnt. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this is where you're not.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's up to you to make the decision, you know?
Right.
But it's when you sit there and say you make a kid go to church every Sunday, go to Sunday school, go to all
You're
of
forcing
like,
religion.
you're not even just forcing it. You're embedding it
Yeah.
in their brain. So, like, this is what's normal.
They don't
You know what I
even
mean?
know
Like,
that they have a choice.
right. And right, exactly. It's just, it's there. And what's crazy is the cult-like factor of it. It's like the shit gets weird sometimes. Like
Real weird.
religion
Extremists, man.
religions have bred a lot of fucked up things,
Yeah.
you know? And
Well, it's open to interpretation. That's the problem.
everybody, dude.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's open to interpretation, and you could have two very, very different pastors, we'll say, that
Oh,
are very influential, that preach opposite ends of what the Bible is telling you and read the same scripture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
all
you could have a
interpretation.
person, exactly. You could have a person that's an extremist on one end of religion and then on the other end of it, and they're part of the same religion.
Man, and listen, let's be real here. There's just like, it's been war from the beginning of each one. You know, like
It's the craziest oxymoron
War.
to exist.
Right.
Holy war.
forever.
That's the craziest oxymoron.
Like, they're still being waged right now.
Yep.
You know?
Over holiness.
Yeah. Well, that's like all of that area over there in the Middle East is like super.
Yeah, who owns the land, who is entitled to it, who was born there, the people that came from it.
Yeah. Well, that's it, man. But this is what happens when you have something like get control like that and change narratives. Like, so like throughout history,
Religion has kept them fighting.
religion in general, and I won't say just any particular one, but have like destroyed the evidence of past cultures, like
Right.
of past history, of past knowledge. So like when you're destroying all of this shit in wars, you know, the Library of Alexandria, like
Yep.
there's like all kinds of things that contributed to the history of humankind or mankind, and like it's gone because of war, of religion, of like whose religion is better, of like, yo, my God said this, but
Infinite knowledge
your
has
God
been
can
ruined.
fuck off. Like, you know what I mean, dude? Like, whatever
Infinite
happened to
knowledge.
being like, yo, possibly there's a God of everything. You know,
Or there are many gods,
you know?
and the people that believe in each one have the right to them, or none, you know? There's so many different possibilities, and people don't want to accept it because it makes them afraid that theirs isn't true,
Yeah, exactly.
you know?
Right.
They're afraid, and faith is crazy because we put our whole life stake on the fact that when we're done with this one, our faith is going to get us to the next one. You know?
Yeah. Well, everybody wants to be like, yo, I want to go to heaven. Like,
Right.
I want to believe that my loved ones are somewhere in a spot that is fucking paradise.
Tangible. Yeah,
you know
I
what
can
mean?
see them.
Like,
Yeah. Well, think about it. Like, think about an old religious woman that lives in Italy that's spent her whole life praying the rosary at 6 times a day. And then an alien shows up, a literal alien. Religion will be out the window for her. She'd jump out the window and commit suicide because she wouldn't be able to convince herself that the world was real anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She would... And think about that. Now, that's where religion can take over you. You know, like, she believes so heavily that the God that she's believed for 87 years that she's prayed to every day that's made her get to 87 isn't real anymore because everything that she believed was just proven wrong with one thing.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes that veil's got to be shattered, you know?
Of course. Definitely.
But there's also a flip side to religion, okay? There's a lot of weird shit that happens associated with religion, and you saying that shit's kind of funny that you said it. But I don't know if it was in Italy, but there was, I don't know if you ever heard the story of the 3 sisters that Fatima.
No.
Stop it, really?
3 sisters of Fatima, Fatima?
Fatima, however the fuck you pronounce it. If you Google it, there's the 3 sisters of Fatima. I can't remember exactly what the incident was called, but they had these 3 sisters allegedly had saw the Virgin Mary. Like an apparition of the Virgin Mary in the sky. Right? And like, but that they're not even just one example. Like, there's other examples like Padre Pio, like people getting the fucking crucifixion and their fucking the stigmata. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of weird shit associated with religion, bro. So like, who knows? You know what I mean? I could be wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah. We'll deal with it when we get there.
Yeah, man. I mean,
but
we all believe in something, and that's what gets us to the end, regardless of how long your life is, you know?
Yeah.
Your beliefs. Because without it, and even an agnostic or a non-believer, they...
Call them ideas.
Yeah.
Beliefs are a lot harder to get rid of or change.
Well, that's what I'm saying with religion, and even lack of religion requires a certain level of belief that you know something doesn't exist. It's just as beliefful as... if that's even a word, as knowing something does exist. Having belief in religion could go either way. If you're agnostic or what's the other one there?
There's a lot of them. There's atheists.
Atheists, there we go.
Yeah. Well, dude, don't get it twisted.
They're different.
Everybody has their ideas.
Yeah.
There's a fucking church of Satan, dude.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So but again.
But Satan was an angel.
Right. So,
you know what I mean? So,
but these are the weirdo fucking stories that drive me nuts. You know what I mean? In the Bibles, because Satan was a fallen angel. He gets kicked out of heaven for guess what? Standing up for himself. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, there's a lot of weird shit going on in this book.
A lot.
Yeah.
Contradictory stuff.
Oh, so contradictory, dude. You know.
Yeah.
But either way, it's right, everybody's got a belief, and like beliefs get people through. And I'm not saying I think I was saying to you not too long ago, is like there's something crazy about the power of prayer.
Sure.
Like when you get a fucking couple hundred people praying, and you get that,
things can change.
Things happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I personally look at it in the idea of energy. Mm-hmm. Like you're accumulating, like you have this mass energy that's going towards that, like that cause, but there's some weird things associated with it too. You know?
Sometimes having a belief is better than knowing something because, you know, there's no limit to what can surprise you, I guess, you know? Like that you're not expecting anything, but you're expecting everything. So like anything that happens could be, you know, there's no ceiling to what it can be.
Sky's the limit.
You know? Yeah, right.
Yeah. I just have a hard time with the control factor of it. With most things, you know, it's just the constant control.
Yeah,
like,
that's a lot of what it is now, is organized control.
Well, it really is. That's what it turned into.
Yeah, Mikey, will you grab me a?
Come on, Brody. We got the fucking. You got a foot up on the couch, bro. What are you doing?
My man's lounging.
Oh my.
Relaxing.
Oh my God. Oh, your God.
Mike, you want a towel so you can take a shower and, you know, you can hang out in my bedroom for a while. You take a nap.
Mikey's helping us out tonight with just
my guy
running around while we got all this shit set up. But make sure you like, subscribe, and share, man.
Yes.
To everybody that helped out with the toy drive, thank you so much.
Big props.
We'll
You
talk
guys are
about
the
that in
best.
a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, fuck yeah.
I heard another conspiracy thing.
What's that?
JFK's great nephew maybe came out and said that the murder or the assassination of JFK was the FBI's or CIA's greatest coup.
All right. So, well, yeah. I mean, it depends on which theory you like. You know what I mean? Because that theory was, had something to do with Allen Dulles and like the CIA. And Kennedy had made it the iconic speech. I don't know exactly what the speech is called right this second off the top of my brain, but it was about secret societies, and like that was like kind of a shot at the CIA because the CIA is like kind of like rogue, like it's that one government agency that does what the fuck it wants. You know what I mean? Like
all the time.
Like it doesn't matter. No congressional oversight. Like on the books, sure, you know, but they really don't answer for nothing. It's all classified type shit. And,
started under who? J. Edgar Hoover?
No, that was the FBI.
FBI. Okay.
The CIA used to be
Was that
the
Clinton?
office
Or,
of
Bush? Rather, wasn't he the first one?
HW was the director. I believe Allen Dulles, and I can Google it real quick, but I believe Allen Dulles was the very first director.
Okay, I always thought it was HW.
Let me see here. He was the first civilian director of Central Intelligence, and it's longest serving to date. So, excuse me, but it was before the CIA. It was at the office of something or another. But they they had a real bone to pick, like because if he got to digging like he really wanted to, and he wanted to clean some shit up, like in like government or in the CIA, like. The problem is like these presidents get into office, man, and they want control over shit.
Yeah, they think they have more control and rights than they do.
Than they really do.
They only got a 4-year job minimum.
Right, and a lot of these intelligence officers or intelligence agencies are going to live on forever. So it's on like a need to know basis.
Right, and the president really doesn't need to know a lot of that.
Yeah.
They only get we'll say they get top secret security clearance, but like there are people that get triple top secret fucking black security, like.
Oh yeah, if you look at the Majestic shit, like the Majestic 12 and shit like that, like that type of shit, like that's like certain level of clearances, bro, that you'll never ever see the light of day, like you'll never know who's in that shit.
No, they'll bury you, literally. Literally, they will bury you.
But either way, the CIA had a bone to pick with Kennedy. You know what I mean? And it's possible, dude, because there's a lot of stories. There's a lot of stories that like link the CIA to having a whole bunch into it, like especially with Lee Harvey Oswald. Right? Yeah. Lee Harvey Oswald. And then also
excuse me.
With the alleged groups that were like backup teams.
Yeah, like
to be on the ground, like the grassy knoll, these were all supposed to be alleged second teams, or like or not. I don't want to say second teams, but different theories.
Yeah,
and dude, they like that. It was funny because I've been watching this weird shit. Like, I don't want to say it's weird, but it's the Nostradamus effect. Mm-hmm. You ever watch that shit?
I think I have.
Dude, it's pretty cool. They go through like all the Nostradamus shit and like kind of it's got a weird kind of like, I guess they try to put that like scary spin on it, but it's like they go through like the whole Antichrist and how like the end is gonna go. And
well, I mean, they say even back to the Kennedy thing, they say like there's pictures of a woman that was there that day that they still have never identified. And she was in a bunch of the pictures and fleeing, going the opposite way of everybody else.
Where's this?
The Kennedy assassination. Like an old woman.
An old woman?
Yeah,
See,
like, not old, but
man.
like a 50-year-old woman, and she's going the opposite way of everybody else, and she's keeping a stern face on his head, fucking blown off. Huh?
This is in a Sabruder film?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Jackie Kennedy?
No, the fucking...
She was in the seat with him? And
no, there was another woman in the fucking, like, in the photos, like, all over the photos of that crime scene that day. From all the different photos that they collected, there was a woman in a bunch of them, and she was seen fleeing the opposite way of the rest of the crowd was going. She's never been identified. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you never know, man. Like, there's a lot of things.
Let me see if I could pull it up.
Pull that shit up. Yeah, dude, I love the Kennedy assassination. Oh, I obviously don't love that they fucking blew my man's head off, but it for real though, you know what I mean? That sucks, dude. Like, cause I don't want to say Kennedy was a good dude because they're all fucking imposters, but at the same time, like, you know, you shot and killed the fucking president, like, and like the dude that was probably gonna be halfway decent, you know?
Yeah, I mean.
He
Many
just
say
like to
he
fucking
was
do drugs. He like to do fucking LSD.
The babushka lady.
That's who it is?
Yep, is an unidentified woman. Present during the 1963 assassination of U.S. President Kennedy, who might have photographed or filmed the events that occurred in Dallas's Dealey Plaza at the time President John F. Kennedy was shot. Her nickname arose from the headscarf she wore, which was similar to scarves worn by elderly Russian women. Babushka. Literally means grandmother or old woman. Babushka lady was seen to be holding a camera by eyewitness and was also seen in film accounts of the assassination. She was observed standing in the grass between Elm and Main Streets, standing amongst onlookers in front of the Dallas County building. Yeah. Is visible in Zapruder film, as well as in the film of Orville Nix, Marie Muchmore, and Mark Bell. 44 minutes, 47 seconds into the Bell film, even though the shooting had already taken place, most of her surrounding witnesses took cover. She can be seen still standing with the camera at her face.
Yeah, so what do you think? Do you think she was like involved, or do you think she was just getting filmed? Like, or do you think
they never found her after? She went the opposite way of all the people fleeing.
No, that's why I'm asking you. What do you think she was there for?
To be honest with you, man, I think a lot of the stuff doesn't match up. The fact that, like, if you go back and look at some of the records, they were fudged apparently of Lee Harvey Oswald. As far as, like, his, what he did in the military and all that.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of what it was I don't believe he actually was a sniper or a sharpshooter like they said he was. He had, like, a much more specific title. Like, it was more like a special title. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, the idea was that he was, like, he trained with certain groups, you know what I mean? That were like clandestine groups that were training snipers. Like,
and again, there had to be a second shooter, I believe. Yeah, I believe there had to be a second shooter. Because if they're going to have something going on in that type of situation where they're trying to stage a coup, they're going to they're going to make sure their plan goes through even if the first guy fucks it up.
Yeah,
you know
they had they had their bases covered for sure. But that's what was it? Woody Harrelson's dad.
He was part of.
Well, he said he shot Kennedy. He was there. Like, he was there. He said he shot Kennedy, but they didn't believe him. You know what I mean? But he did, however, kill. I think he was the first person in the 20th century to kill a federal court judge.
Really?
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson's dad?
Yeah, Woody Harrelson's father, dude.
Damn.
Involved in it, like, he was at the scene, or not at the scene, but he was there when Kennedy was shot. All that crazy shit. Yeah, we'll never know, dude. Like, damn. There's theories that it was just a Secret Service agent's gun that went off behind him.
Yeah, right.
You know, there's secrets that, like, a guy popped up at, like, a fucking Ninja Turtle out of the sewer and fucking and shot the dude. You know what I mean? Because there was bullets. There was allegedly somebody allegedly caught like a ricochet.
Yeah.
Up on a bridge. You know what I mean? So if you're looking at it like that,
the angle.
Somebody took a shot and it's going up. You know, it's like, that's not Lee Harvey Oswald coming down.
Right.
where did those bullets come from?
Right.
You know? So, yeah, because somebody was treated at like a hospital nearby, dude, for like getting hit with a ricocheted bullet. Yeah. Not only that, dude, there's a lot of fucked up shit, dude, in Texas before the body can be moved, I think it is. And don't quote me, you can Google it. Before the body can be moved, I believe the two people have to see it. Yeah, and shit, I'm gonna have to Google that shit.
Wait, what?
Two people have to see the body, I want there two people like
a coroner and a
coroner and like an official. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I don't want to say like a mayor. Like I almost fucking want to say the mayor, but but either way, the body's got to be seen first. But the Secret Service took it. You know what I mean? And
so it was never pronounced dead.
No, he was pronounced dead. But they took his body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like they were like, no, we take his body, and they never got to inspect it. You know what I mean? Like so they never had like a second opinion.
Right.
Like and by the time the body did get like had a second opinion, everything was like weird. You know? It was like they fucking altered the body, altered the fragments, altered the skull. You know what I mean? All kinds of weird shit.
Crazy.
Yeah. Dude, that shit's deep, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's deep. And imagine that. Like, there's, like, all kinds of different theories, too. There's all kinds of,
Marilyn Monroe.
Well, Marilyn Monroe was, like, that was a whole weird situation.
Yeah, she, was fucking him and his brother or something, then tried to frame them both.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a whole shit behind that, too, man. Like, and they offed her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then
because she knew stuff that I guess John and
pillow talking, man.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. But like, I mean, there's the mob theory. There's all kinds of crazy shit, bro. Like the mob theory is like his father like solicited the like votes like from the fucking like used to bootleg with the mob, like run fucking. I don't think he was ever a made guy, but he was like running fucking alcohol during prohibition and shit. So like when he made all that money, he kind of like solicited the mob to get all the unions to turn out and vote Kennedy.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Kennedy went and fucking like made it his mission to destroy the mob. Like,
yeah, so
they were pissed. They were like, dude, you could have just left us the fuck alone.
Right.
Like, but his brother like made it his thing. Like that was his crusade, was to bring down the mob.
And then he died too, right?
He was shot and killed,
Yeah, their families had some crazy, unfortunate, they call it a curse.
Yeah, I mean, look, man.
The Kennedy Onassis curse.
Oh, man. Listen, the Onassis shit, too, is wild, man. Like, and it goes back. Like, there's a lot of connections amongst that shit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But it's a bloodline thing.
Yeah.
So, again, like, if
you were telling me that, I think.
Well, that's what I mean, though, is all these people, and again, this is something that you can Google. There was a 12-year-old girl, and her grandfather figured out that all of the presidents, except a couple,
like 85% of them,
were related.
Yeah.
Like, directly related.
From Chicago, I think.
I don't know about...
Or Detroit.
What, the girl?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, because I was going to say, I don't know where, like, a lot of their bloodline went back to the Queen of England.
Yep. Charlemagne.
And then all the way back to Charlemagne.
Yep.
So it's like, you know what I mean? These are bloodlines. It's like, yo, here, let's put this guy here. It's like, oh, yeah, we'll give you America. You got your independence.
We have freedom, but really, my cousin is the queen.
Yeah.
I'm just still going to talk to her in private about what we're doing with you fools.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Well, now it's like, all right, so we win the war, and now we're friends again.
Yeah. Funny how that happens.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
They're sour still over there.
Yeah. Well, their government isn't. But, like, if you're looking at it, like, grand scheme of things, like, they fucking positioned up just perfectly. Like, oh, yeah, okay, well, yeah, maybe they're just not under British rule anymore.
Right.
We're going to put... Somebody's going to be in there that's related to us. Yeah, get that yawn in. Yo, listen, it's late. Nah, it's late on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just wanted to get one in, squeeze one in before
That's
the end
right.
of the year. This will probably be the last one of the year. Next year, we got some goals, and we're trying to get fucking some more episodes out. But we had some really fucking cool things happen this year. We did the turkey drive. Yeah. And that was the first time ever. So we got to say thank you to everybody that contributed to that shit. It was huge. We donated 29 turkeys, all of us collectively.
29.
Yeah, 29 turkeys, bro.
It's awesome.
And, did over 100 meals, all that shit. And it was a huge impact in the community. And we also have the toy drive, which is today was the deadline. Christmas is coming up, so we're doing our drop tomorrow. And then, yeah, it's going to be dope, man. We fucking shout out to everybody that helped with the toy drive that donated. Straight Razor Society for being the toy drop spot. Paint Cahoes for being the toy drop spot. Flippers Barbershop for being the toy drop spot. And then everybody that contributed, all of our sponsors. You can check the flyer for our sponsors. And we did a great job again. I don't know how many toys we did. We didn't get a chance to count them yet. I don't think. But donated all of them to the Grateful Villages organization and Eden's Rose Foundation.
Yes.
Right. And then so that was huge. And so moving into next year, we got some big goals and we want to crush those. Mm-hmm. You trying to wrap it up? What do you want to do?
Whatever you think, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably wrap it up, dude. It's late. But either way, shout out to everybody out there, man. Thank you for fucking kicking it with us this year. We got some big goals. We can't wait to crush them with you guys. Thank you for being a part of the journey. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Hit that subscribe button.
Smack it real good.
Kenny, you got anything for these guys?
No, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you. Your follows and subscriptions and all that good shit. We love that. Please interact, engage, drop a like, a comment. Comment. We'll interact
talk about
with
Kenny's
you.
Beard.
Yeah, talk about my beard or my sweet legs from our last video.
Yeah, your legs were fucking crazy.
Oh
bro.
yeah, they're nice.
It's going on our OnlyFans.
They're nice. Check them out.
But either way, subscribe and
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays,
safe New Year's.
Yeah.
Peace out. We'll check in next year. Later.